All right. This is Sue Greenwald here with Awakened Stories, and I'm here today talking with the real John F. Kennedy Jr. Hey, John, how are you?
I am doing wonderful now that I got back to talk with you.
Yay! Well, thank you for keeping in touch with me over the break. I had a break, everybody knows. So I tried not to work, and I probably couldn't have done much anyway, even if I wanted to. So, for those that are new to the channel, this is the book that John wrote, and this is what our conversations are based on: stolen identity, right? Fabulous book available through Barnes and Nobles as well as Amazon. So, everybody has access to that. And I'm going to show John's website as well throughout today. But I wanted to catch up with you and see how your holidays were. So we had talked slightly before Christmas, and you were basically promoting a family where the father had been laid off, a family of four kids. And I know we had many people, many generous people had sent gifts and things for the kids. And I wanted to kind of see how that turned out.
It made my whole day. It really, really did. Um, I wish I could have shared the pictures of how happy those children were, but I don't do that. It's not my place. If the folks want to do that,
Yeah.
that's their business. But
Yeah.
um, Mama came over here, and her and Robin. I went running around town for most of the day and came back, and they were still wrapping presents when I got back. Um, if everybody heard, I went to Home Depot. I got four of those, which is I thought was a good idea. 4 5 gallon buckets to fill toys and give them to them.
Right.
And they ended up with like five of those great big 55 gallon trash bags full of toys and clothes and shoes and sneakers and wonderful gifts. Yesterday I got some more. We got another little pile over there to give them kids, and just seeing their faces was was great. The little boy, um, I'm not sure how old he is, 8, 11, something like that, but he was so freaking happy. Um, they made a video and sent it to me, and he was like, "Look what I got!" And I was like, "Isn't that freaking cool?"
It's so
So
beautiful. When a kid is little, it really doesn't even matter what the gift is. It's the surprise element. It's the excitement of the gift, right? Once they get a little older, then it's more peer pressure, what brand things are, what it looks like, oh, I wanted this, but how exciting is that you were able to help them? So thank you.
it,
Thank you for
yeah.
doing
Well, you're welcome. It was my pleasure. Just you know, me and Robin, and this was Robin's idea. She said, "Let's not get each other anything,"
Yeah.
and bless her heart. So I didn't get Robin anything, and she got me the nicest pair of cowboy boots I've ever owned in my life. A pair of snakeskin cowboy boots, and I was like, Robin, why did you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, you know. So I made her a little envelope and put it under the tree that said, "I love her. Thanks for a wonderful year that she's been in my life." Um, but yeah, seeing those little kids happy, and even the parents, very thankful. Um, Robin got a message the other day from the parents, and they're like, "We have no room for these toys. We got too many toys." So I've been pondering, how can we get them some room for their storage somewhere or something. But yeah, they got plenty of toys. I'm sure they spent the day tearing that that wrapping paper off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so beautiful. Thank you for doing that. And
Oh, well,
for those
thank all of you that sent the shoes, and Robin had made Robin's day every time she went and got the mail, and she had an armload of gifts from the Lions and from the people with love sending it to them. Some, I mean, we were getting shoes for these kids that light up and blink and flash, and we never had those kind of things when we was little.
yeah, I think everybody should have lights on their shoes. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody sent some shoes where they had little stickers that you put on the shoestrings and all kinds of good little creative stuff. Me, I was basically just getting coloring books and crayons and
Mm.
stuff like that. And every time I would buy some from the dollar store to throw in the buckets I got, I was like, poor parents, they're going to have scribbles all over their walls.
That's great. And I understand that you got a stove that works. Yay. And you were able to cook a turkey on Christmas Day.
I did. And I was thinking back the last time I had a turkey dinner, and it was years and years ago. Well, when me and my son were living here, we didn't have a stove. So for that 9, 10 years that we were here, we had a little toaster oven. And if I wanted a turkey, I would go burn it out on the barbecue grill with some wood. Couldn't afford charcoal. Um, but yeah, what happened was I was on Marketplace and I found a really nice stove. It was a glass top. It had the 5 burners, glass top, digital, everything. It was $100. I was like so proud. I got a nice stove like that for $100. So I brought it in. I paid a guy to help me put it in. We brought it in, and me and Robin, we plugged it in, and it worked. And the lights came on, and the burners were on, and we were all happy. We were dancing around, saying, "We got to work a stove. We're gonna have a turkey for Christmas." And then, boom! There was a loud bang, and Robin said a big lightning bolt shot out of the wall at me, and then the stove didn't work any longer. And it was like 4 days before Christmas, so I went to the church, and they finally got a stove in. Somebody donated a stove. It wasn't the glass burners, or it was just the round metal,
Yeah,
burners.
grills, yeah.
But it was nice. We put it in here, and we had turkey dinner, and it was the best turkey dinner ever. Robin worked. I think she was up at midnight all night making the stuffing and the sweet potatoes and cranberry sauce, and I mean, she fixed it up. Those big glass bowls, not glass bowls, but they're like baking dishes that you
Yeah,
bake enchiladas and stuff in lasagna. She had that full, and she brought it over to me, and she's like, "Merry Christmas." But
beautiful.
I ate half of that, and I was like, "Oh no, what did I do?"
Gotta go take a nap.
Yeah, most definitely, and I did too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
For a couple of days, I was eating leftovers. I'd stuff myself and then fall asleep and take my old
Yeah,
man nap.
that's awesome. That is awesome. Well, everyone likes a happy story. So thank you to those that have donated for these causes. I really appreciate it. It makes everyone so happy just to have basic luxuries or necessities in their lives, like clothes, shoes, food, right?
And
Basic.
yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, my whole life, every time I turned around, I was shit on. I really was. Um, Literally. So many times. I didn't know there was this much love in the world. I started sharing my story, started getting it out, started meeting people, you and the king and these lions. Um, so many with their love blessings, and just making a video, just hitting that share button to get the story out so we can get justice, for not only me but for everybody. It's awesome. Like, I didn't know there was this much love. So
Yeah.
just the fact that I know there's this much love in the world makes my day. Um, it really does. We're making progress. It's getting out there, and I'm happy. I'm feeling good. Um, if people don't know, 2 years ago I was freaking dying.
Yeah.
10 years before that, 13 years before that, I was really dying. I died in the hospital. But 2 years ago, I had heart failure, and even the doctors and stuff don't believe what the doctors tell you, because they said I'd probably die. And now I'm feeling really good. I got to quit falling down though, Sue. Man,
Uh-oh.
yeah, I was pulling up a chain link fence last week, and I fell down. And I don't know if it's my heart medicine that I'm on, or just because I'm getting old. But I bruised, a couple months ago, I
Yeah.
fell in the toilet. People are like, "Don't tell people you fell in the toilet." But I was installing a toilet in the bathroom, and I
Yeah.
fell into it. And I think I broke a rib. I was spitting up blood for freaking weeks. I was like, okay, this is going to kill me now. But I was pulling up some old chain link fence. I don't even know why it was up, because all we did was deal with a broken gate coming in and out of the house all the time. And if, the bad guys wanted to come, and all they had to do was hop over it,
Yeah.
step
Yeah.
over it. Even Robin, she's like, I don't like messing with that broken gate. I'm just going to step over it. So I dug up the old post, and I was pulling up the old chain link fence, kind of giving it my all, and the chain link fence was pulling back, and I fell back into it. But yeah, and I'm bruising really, really easy, and I got a big lump on my tit now. But yeah, I gotta stop fighting with those chain link fences, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it seems like things are going really well for you. And, as far as your health goes, we kind of point this out every time. You weren't feeling good before King Smarty sent you the PTSD, basically pendant, which has healing and protective properties and some other stickers and little, his healing device.
Awesome stuff. Awesome
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he sent you that, and we've noticed throughout all of these videos how slowly you've improved. And I know, like about a year ago, your heart was not efficient. So they said you were operating at like maybe 10% efficiency heart-wise, and then you popped up to maybe 50% or something, but there's no longer concern about that. So how fabulous is that? Right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome. And you
Yeah.
don't really realize, like King Smarty, he sent me a
Yeah.
pendant, and it was actually a blue pendant. And then he sent me this one, and I haven't took this one off. I actually gifted the other one that he first sent me to somebody else. But people don't realize when there's so much on my head. I would put my head out the door and just expect it to get blown off. I mean, that's the way I live. Um, you go get in your car and you turn the key and you wait for it to blow up on you. Constantly worrying and stressing about people trying to take your lives, not for anything that I've personally done to anyone, but it's for who I am and what they've done to my family, and not wanting my story out. So my post traumatic stress disorder was huge,
Yeah.
but you know, I hold on tight to this, and I'm catching myself. Not that I shouldn't be cautious of what's going on, but um, it's so much better. I walk outside and it's like I don't pay attention. Is my head going to get blown off now? And then you have to calm down from the anxiety and all that of it, of thinking, hey, today's my last day on earth, over and over and over again, 100 times that day. When you're in the military, I think they call it the 1,000-yard stare. If you're in combat for so long, you're constantly looking beyond your sight at things and harm that can harm you. So mentally, it gets to a soldier. That's why they have time limits when you're in battle, for you being on the front line. And me being on the front line my whole entire life,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
having people to talk about it to, and hiding the fact to the world, hey, I'm John Kennedy Jr., there's a
Right.
price on my head from these freaking people.
Right.
It was really hard, stressful, day after day after day. I've learned to deal with it and everything else. But what a wonderful gift, a pendant, a dog tag, from the king, saying, hey, this will help you. And what a wonderful, wonderful gift.
Yeah. And look, it's a passive thing. You just wear it around your neck. And like I said, we've seen the improvement. You're looking great. You're doing more things. You're stronger. Like it's been, it hasn't been instantaneous. It's been slow and steady progress. But it's beautiful to see. So we're seeing the proof that the products work. And again, it sounds like I'm just plugging the products, but I believe in them because I use them as well.
And I
They
believe
work.
in them too, most
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
And so does Robin. Robin's got these stickers all over the house.
Yeah, yeah,
I go to get water, and I was looking in this drawer, and I seen these little stickers.
yeah.
I don't know what this one is, but they're little.
I think those are like those you put on your phone, your computer. There, it's not showing the print
Shh,
on them.
my computer will be covered with them.
Well, you put them on your electronic devices, your TV, and it's anti-EMF, anti-blue screen, blah blah blah.
and and water is one of the keys to making it all work. Also, King's always telling me, drink lots of water, brother. But yeah, Robin's got our water bottle stickers all over
Yeah,
it, which is
yeah.
really good.
Yeah, awesome. Well, like again, it's hard for us who have lived, air quote, normal lives to understand you've been since really the age of, we're going to say 10, just for 54 years of your life, you've been under duress, under stress the entire time. You've never been able to relax. Like you said, that does a huge number on your health, in addition to being drugged and shot at and stabbed and all the other stuff. It does a
And
huge number on your health.
and these doctors, they don't help you with their medicine.
No.
I've been hearing a lot lately about medicine and doctors, and it's all big pharma. They want us to be sick. They want us to be sick,
Yeah.
and they want to make as much money. I was on a medicine. I'm not going to name it because I don't want to be kicked off here, but the medicine alone for a prescription was $2,500. My insurance covered that, but it gave me three deadly infections. I think I was trying to make videos while they were basically on my bottom side, and I would get like boils, huge boils, and it would affect my urinary tract and everything. Three times I had those within a year. And I was on TikTok, and there was a girl on there saying, "Hey, my dad just died from this medicine. I just
Oh,
lost my father from this medicine." Well, I was spitting up blood all the time, and I was like, okay, the doctor wanted me to be checked for lung cancer. They said I had colon cancer. I still haven't checked up on any of that. But once I stopped taking that medicine that they put me on, and they should have told me when I went in three times for an infection like that, hey, it's the medicine, but they didn't. And I quit the medicine. I haven't been coughing up any blood since then. And I haven't had an infection. I had a sty in my eye last week that was a real pain in the ass. But yeah, I got my little diabetes needles, and I went in there, and Robin walked in, and she's like, "What are you doing? You're poking your eye with a needle." But yeah, I've learned to do that. Take care of business myself instead of going to urgent care and all that.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, it's much better. But
yeah,
yeah, that medicine, if you are taking that medicine that starts with a J and people are dancing around and having a wonderful time on those commercials, think twice and do a little research before you believe the doctors in saying, "Hey, take this medicine."
yeah. I'm not a big fan of the medical industry. So I guess it has a place like for first aid. Like, let's say if you break a leg or something, but in my opinion, they're causing the disease and the illness and the injury for economic reasons, of course. And
At my
people,
pharmacy,
yeah,
I was using Walmart, and I really hate using Walmart because I know what Walmart's all about. Um, so I hate using Walmart pharmacy. So I changed to the local drugstore. But when you go in to get your medicine at the local drugstore, they got all kinds of chocolate cherries and licorice whips and Hershey's candy and M&Ms and a whole aisle of chocolates while you're waiting in line to go to the pharmacy. And I'm thinking, yeah, they're pushing that diabetes really hard right there. And then on the right, you got NyQuil, DayQuil, over the
You-
counter uppers and downers, and
yeah,
you look and it's like 24.99 to get rid of your cough. And I'm like, billions of dollars over here, billions of dollars over here. They want you to be sick, so they're giving you the candy so you'll be sick. And they want to take more of your money over here, so they're putting all that medicine out.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
a no-win. And then, by the time you walk through all this stuff to get to the counter, they want to charge you $2,500 for a prescription that's probably not any good for you in the first place. You know, there's so many other healthy alternatives. But I don't know how we got on that subject,
I
but
know we've gone down, we've gone, it's okay. You know what? We talk about whatever. So I just wanted to catch up with you and see how you were doing over the holidays, to thank people, to let people know what the money had gone for and all of
a
that.
big, big
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, yeah.
Huge
It's
with all
really
my heart.
very exciting to see
Yeah, and it
generosity.
don't, you lions don't stop. Go buy a pendant. Um, today's the fourth, so I got so many different people saying, "Don't act like you're asking for money. You're John Kennedy Jr." And then you got other people. There's so many different opinions on things, but without a dollar, we ain't gonna get the story out unless it's word of
Yeah.
mouth from everybody.
Unfortunately, money rules the world at this point, you know what I mean? And I don't mean like that we're glorifying it, but we need it to live. We need it to do everything. And the price of everything has gone up so high that the average family is struggling for just the basics.
And it's not
Right?
going to stop until we get rid of the source
Yeah,
of all the BS, and that's the criminal activity in our government. Straight up, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The criminals have been running the show for years, and they're not making it better for us. They're making it worse for us. Somebody even mentioned I shouldn't say too much about the homeless because then people will expect you to do, well, there's so much our own government can do. And I was thinking about that while I was in the bathroom this morning. The homeless, it's a crime to be homeless. It's a crime to help the homeless. Well, we need to switch the way of thinking around. We really, really do. No matter what comments I get after this, um, it is our government's responsibility to make sure there is no homelessness in this country. They're putting it all on people. It's a crime if you are homeless, and it's a crime to help the homeless. Well, government, we need to put it back on you. It's a crime to allow us to be homeless. It really is.
yeah. All the money that they've collected, and of course we know that the money is for nefarious causes. It's not for, road repair or street lights or this or that. It's for nefarious causes. All right. So all the money they've collected, and they don't help the people. So we're changing that. That's why we're here, right? We're here to get
Yeah.
the truth out. So that is really the topic from this point forward. This is the year of full and complete disclosure, that the truth gets out to the average citizen. Now, the truth is out there.
Yeah.
If they want to research, they can look around. They don't know enough for the most part to look around, because it's being censored, it's being, hidden, it's being taken down off YouTube and the other channels. The truth is out there, but it's going to be easier for them to get. It's going to be in their faces. And that's a good thing. They're going to hear your story. Their minds are going to be blown. First of all, how could it be that you're still alive? Didn't you die in the plane crash? Why do you look different? Have you done the DNA test? Blah, 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 blah. You're going to get those questions of only 50 billion more times each. But
And yeah, I think about that all the dang
yeah,
time. I was sitting there this morning,
yeah,
and I was like, what a lot of nerve, that laboratory got thousands of our dollars,
yeah.
and I can't even get a courtesy of an email. They still haven't even sent my DNA results. You think for thousands of dollars you'd get a piece of paper that says,
Yeah.
this is your DNA, here's your results. Nothing,
Yeah.
nothing, not one thing. And everybody believes in DNA. Well, who's running the DNA? The cabal's running the cabal
Yeah.
runs everything. So you people that believe DNA is the only answer, you're asking the enemy to basically saying, yeah, we're guilty of all our
Yeah.
crimes.
Yeah. It's not going to happen. So think of it. They're the guys that have perpetrated all the crimes against John throughout his life. They know what's going on. So he sends the DNA in. It's easy to buy off the scientist, the lab, to lose the evidence, to switch the evidence, whatever it is. So, and I know you've done maybe 4 or 5 different tests, and the results have always come in differently. So, for those that keep asking that question, it's not like you're not trying, but you are not getting the reports and the answers that, you want to know yourself. But
Right.
you
Even
really,
Robin was telling me yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, that she had heard somebody sent their dog's DNA in one of those
yeah,
23andMe or something, and it
yeah,
came back like an Irish
yeah,
some background or some
yeah.
crap. And I was thinking it must have been an Irish setter.
There's a guy that sent in like an iguana or a lizard or something, and he sent in, I want to say it was a horse. I don't remember the creature, but I watched several of his videos. He'd send in the DNA from several creatures, and come back like with a bogus report. Okay, so those of you guys that are sending your DNA in for 23andMe or those other services, you're basically giving them your DNA, which I advise against, but you're getting bogus reports. Those reports are not correct. And you've probably heard reports or videos. There'd be twins or triplets, of course, born within minutes of each other from the same parents. They'd send their DNA in and get 2 to 3 different reports. So that just goes to show you it's not legit. Okay. It's fabricated information that you're getting.
Yeah, it can be manipulated.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
so much evil. And I was sharing on my little video this morning about the cowboys and the westerns. So if you don't mind, I'd like to get into that for a minute.
Yeah, of course.
Um, Everybody knows, you know, Hopalong Cassidy, William Boyd, how big Hollywood is into the entertainment industry. Well, if you go back to all the old shows, Gunsmoke, and all of the old Western shows, and from John Wayne to Clint Eastwood to Charles Bronson, you know, it was back in the day. It was all a tight group of men, actors, and then they all got their own shows. John Wayne, um, Clint Eastwood, Charles Bronson, um, on and on and on with all these stars. But they all came from the cowboy. So you had this small, this is how the cabal spreads, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. So you had this tight group of all cowboy actors, and then they all split off to their own shows. And from that, like an example I made this morning is I've always wanted a ranch. I always wanted a ranch. That's a cowboy's dream to own your own cattle ranch, to even if you're, raising lizards or snakes, or, that's a dream, is to have your own ranch. So I used Ronald Reagan, an old cowboy actor. They made him president of the United States, people. Well, you have this tight circle, then they all branch out. They all get their own ranches. All this tight circle branched out all around the country, and they all, from Wyoming to California, had these ranches, and they're all under the control of Hollywood, the cabal. But now they're world. They're all over with their ranches because Hollywood blessed them with a ranch. And they had William Boyd, Hopalong Cassidy, William Boyd, Las Vegas is huge. Um, it spread up from Hopalong Cassidy, to Las Vegas, amphitheater. It's from this tight little group of cowboy actors, it flourished all around the world into all these little cells. And John Wayne, I believe, killed for me one day. Not that it was a bad thing, but had this shit being kicked out of me. I was being bossed around all day. John Wayne seen it, John Wayne got to his crew, and his crew kicked the crap out of this guy that was pushing me down and kicking me in the ass. Um, so, to me, John Wayne's a wonderful guy, but it's just goes to show um, how big, they can start with a bubble of Hollywood and then its world, and they do that with everything they touch. It's huge how vast they are and what they can do. And we were talking about ranches in a prior show, and how they can kill a rancher and take that rancher's property, then subdivide it, and then put in all these. Hollywood is huge with, if you think about the billion, probably trillions of dollars Hollywood makes, but the all the actors, I can't keep up with them all anymore. There's so many Hollywood actors.
Mhm.
It's huge, but it spreads so fast like wildfire, and you either do what you're told or you don't work. So
Yeah.
I
Well,
just wanted to throw out that how connected it is and how fast it can explode into you know, Ronald Reagan being president, for God's sakes, Hollywood, you know, um, not that Arnold Schwarzenegger was into the cowboy scene too much, but the governor of California, and on and on and on and on, Hollywood in, all going all up to these evildoers that run our country that want to enslave us so they can stay billionaires.
right.
But I'm sorry
Well,
for rambling.
no, no, it's an excellent point because we did talk about this, I'm going to say roughly 6 months ago. And you had explained that they'll take over an identity of someone, let's say a rancher in this case. He's got a lot of land, he's got money, he's got power and influence. So they'll take that guy, his identity over, then they have his land that they can sell off. They have his money that they can suck out of the account. They can control his resources, right? And they've done this in so many industries. So many people are not who we think they are. We're told the story about their background, how they became famous, how they became blah, blah, blah. Usually those stories are just that, stories. They're not the truth.
And identity theft.
Right.
It's huge.
Right.
You get somebody giving the cabal a problem, you know, you're a thorn in their side. And, they got all the doctors and the dentists and the plastic surgeons, and they got people that are scared. They use gang tactics and everything else. So you got somebody that's well off, and they're making, they're a thorn in your side. So what do the cabal do? They simply remove you. They take your life, they replace you. End of problem. You know, the person that was, being the thorn in your side is gone now, but not really, because now they got all your assets. And identity theft is a huge, huge
Right.
problem. And it's making them billions of dollars. It
Yeah.
really is. My family is a wonderful story for that. Me, myself, my sister, and my mother, those three replacements made the organized crime billions, billions. Somebody was doing research on my father. I did not know he was worth billions, but they did research and they said your father was worth billions of dollars. And then you got the fact that my mother remarried a billionaire. So then you got billions upon billions. And then you get people that comment, well, why would they replace you? Well, how about billions upon billions of dollars? And then you have all these billions of dollars. What will billions of dollars buy you? It will buy you anything. It will buy you, you'll have enough money to take someone's life. You'll have, you know, to change people's ideas and things, way of thinking, to silence the small guy. Billions of dollars will do a lot of things, and they can get away with murder, and they have been. They
Literally.
have been.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask just a couple more questions, if that's okay. When this John Wayne incident happened, were you just a child then? Like, how old would you say you were when this guy was beating you up?
Probably 8 years old or something.
Yeah.
My Hollywood name was Richard Steele.
Yeah.
Um, Even this one lady said, "You look retarded as a Richard Steele," because my jaw was, I was like slobbering on myself. My jaw was like this. And I would be talking, I was a little kid. I was just, 8, 9, 10 years old, but um, I was in all kinds of, I was in,
Yeah.
1 Adam 12 emergency, Green Acres, blah, 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 blah. I was in a lot of shows. My Hollywood name was Richard Steele, and I remember they would put something in my mouth. They didn't want Richard Steele to say, "Hey, that kid is the son of our former president." So they would change my appearance. My
Yeah.
mom, Jackie, wanted me to be, taught in all aspects. She wanted me to be a Hollywood actor. She wanted me to be an artist. That's why she paid Chagall and Picasso and all these other artists, Andy Warhol, huge. These are famous people. Their works are worth millions. These people taught me, but they would put something in my mouth to change my appearance, to make me talk like this. I don't remember what it was. I think it was like kind of like a retainer on the side of my mouth that would hurt,
Yeah.
and it would make me talk funny. But that
Yeah.
was purposely done. Purposely
Yeah.
done.
Crazy. So yesterday, I think it was yesterday on Facebook, you had put out a post that showed your imposter, John, the guy that took over your identity, and how he had dated all of these inverted celebrities. Okay, so by inverted, they either, we think they're female, but they're really biological males or vice versa. Okay, can you give me your opinion? Why would he be hanging out with all these inverted celebrities? Why is it the public thinks they're these glamorous women and they're really dudes?
Um, yeah.
Good
Well,
question,
it's
huh?
just they say the devil comes to deceive, kill, steal, and destroy, but to deceive. They love deception. They love putting it right out in front of the whole world to see. Just like when I was kidnapped and replaced, they put him out. For years there was no publicity on the young John Kennedy Jr. Even like these big major magazines, there was a few years that they didn't publicize anything because they wanted our earlobes to be hid. They wanted the time to make the transformation of the identity theft put in place. But they love deception, and they love putting it right out in front of you. Just like I believe it was Larry King, maybe it wasn't. Yeah, Larry King, asking the fake John, "What if your name was really David?" He knew me. He knew my name was David. He knew I was the real John Kennedy, but they put it out for the whole world to see it. And the world still didn't catch it, but they put it out there.
Yeah,
So, hey, what do you think about your name being David? Or what do you think? How does it feel to be a junior? Because he wasn't a junior. You know, I was John Kennedy Jr. He was an imposter. His name was George Onassis. But and with that said, I haven't said this to anybody, but I remember in school when he was sitting, he actually sat at the desk front right to me in the class. I think it was St. David's School or Colgate or something, but he sat, um, it was like 2 weeks in the front in front of me. But I remember, so he had been lied to also because he said, and we're going back 60 years, not 60, 55 years, but I believe in jogging my memory that he said his family was killed in a fire. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but I'm just throwing that out there. And with me, if people understand it, I'm going back so much in time. I'm going through torture, MK Ultra with my memories. So when I'm pulling up something in my head, it's like, was it real? Was it a dream? Was it I was under MK Ultra? Was I under MK Ultra on LSD on our CIA's manipulation? Was it a plant in my head? Was it just fake for me to try? Because they didn't ever want this out. They did not ever want me to remember. Um, so it's really difficult for me to keep my. That's why I don't do drugs, and I don't drink to get my head. I got to keep my head in focus because there's so many things that are so important in bringing out to the truth to all of
Right.
it.
Right. Well, and again, as a little kid, you didn't really know the big picture. Like you're flying around doing, the art lessons, the acting school, all sorts of things. You're from a very wealthy family, totally different lifestyle than we could even imagine. Okay. And
Yeah.
so you're just bouncing around doing whatever kind of you're told.
And
And
they don't tell you, you got to figure it out the hard way. You got to learn old school. Because when I was there and they were talking about giving this lady dental work to make her look like my mom, Jackie Kennedy, the real one, they were sitting there right in front of me talking about how they were going to make her look like Jackie. Well, I was a little kid. It didn't come to my mind that, hey, they're making her look like my mom, Jackie, so they can kill my mom, Jackie, and put her in the place to steal my mom's billions of dollars. But, as a little kid, you don't understand it. It takes a kick in the head to realize that they're arrogant. They will put it right in front of you,
yeah.
just like, you know, we were talking
Well,
about it
I
earlier.
don't think nowadays, with YouTube and the camera phones and all this other stuff, the internet, we're able to, listen to other people's opinions and the stuff that they've videoed and this and that, so we can educate ourselves, take what we resonate with, leave the rest, right? But back then, we were just, I say we, not me specifically, people were just, they'd watch the news and they believed it. They would never think that they were being lied to. It was unheard of. Now
Yeah,
people
well,
make jokes
people are
about,
starting people are
yeah,
starting to wake up to that mainstream media
yeah,
being corrupted, and they call it programming because they're programming us. Yeah, we have more freedoms of the internet to get the truth out, but the only problem is they're running the show on there too, so they
yeah,
keep us like me and you sitting here talking. It's world news. It's world news. Hopefully someday there's going to be millions of people seeing me and you talk, but it's not happening now.
yeah,
But it should be. So they're keeping us suppressed. They're not releasing it like they would on Fox News and CNN and NBC and NBA, all that. I mean, I personally have sent hundreds of emails to these news agencies, and this was years and years ago, saying, "Hey, I got the biggest story for you. I'm John Kennedy Jr." Suppressed, suppressed, suppressed. So, like right now, I've been looking at our statistics. Our videos maybe in a week will get 1,000 views. They should have 100,000 views. They should have millions of views, but they're not because they're keeping us in a bubble. And this is what we're talking about is should be the
yeah,
top of the
yeah,
news chain
yeah.
right now. It
You're
really should.
right. And see, now people are a little more awake, and I'm talking in general, the average citizen, okay? They're a little more awake. They watch your story, they might ask questions, and questions are valid. Their questions are valid. But I think what annoys me is that we've talked about it for like a year and no one's, doing their research. But they're not able to get to the content at all because of the censorship. The videos are taken down. Okay, right now we're doing a live. And what I usually do is on my phone, I monitor the comments and I make sure that if there's a really good question, I can see it. I can't even see it out there. So I'm not seeing the
No.
video at all today. I don't know how many people are watching, like what's happening. And okay, it's okay, but I know they're messing with me. And you've seen the screen pixelate a few times. They're messing with me, and I don't really love that.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
they mess with all of us.
Yeah.
They do.
So,
But like I always say, people share.
yeah,
Just hit that share button. It doesn't cost nothing, and people can make up their own mind. And if it's not messed with, maybe you will get it out. I mean, we are making huge achievements right here.
yeah,
We are because, like I've said over and over again, they don't want this story out. So one sales of this is huge to me. It's
yeah,
one person that didn't know my story when
yeah,
a few years ago, I was walking around town with a wagon saying, I'm John Kennedy Jr. People are like, you're freaking crazy. It's like, you're damn right I am, but I'm still John Kennedy Jr. So, I mean, we've come a very, very long ways. So,
In like even a year or two, it's like you're actually like a different person. Appearance wise, you look so much healthier and better. You know that we're here to support you. We've got your back. I mean, there's only so much we can do, but by sharing the story, which is free, we can help you, right?
oh, did I share my poster yet?
No.
I got to share this because it came in the mail yesterday. And the first thing I thought of when I saw this was KingSmarty.tv. And yeah, I would love to see King get some movie posters. You know, he's got a TV channel. He's got to have movie posters now. But
I love that.
I think this might have came from King or somebody close to King. But hey, King brother, thank you with all my heart. I really would like to, first thing that came up to my mind. And, when somebody gives me a gift like this, I don't like to hurt nobody's feelings or anything, but I would love to autograph this and give it away as a contest or a raffle or something um, to help get the story out more. But yeah, King, if you sent me this, thank you. It's such an awesome gift. I mean, hey, that's me on
It's
there.
super awesome. So that's printed on metal and it has a magnetic backing, so you could stick
Yeah,
it to your fridge.
it's got a sticker on it.
Yeah.
I haven't messed with it or researched it, but I think you take the little sticker off and stick it on your wall, but it's metal, so it turns it all into a magnet so you can stick stuff on it, like your refrigerator type thing.
What if you got, say, 4 by 6 metal images like that, and you did autograph them and you could sell them for a modest price as a collector's item? So we could have those because I wouldn't mind one of those. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, but then we could also stick them around public places as well, right?
Yeah, I had some stickers that I made that I was giving away for a
Yeah.
while that I thought was pretty cool. I ran across them, I don't see them, but yeah, of the book, I actually had some stickers made when I was making the graphics for my trailer.
Yeah.
And with that said, people, thank you so much for your support. I want to I still want to go to Arlington, Virginia to place my book on my father's grave. The platforms I had last year when I wanted to do it, I always had the slogan justice for John 24, it's justice for all. Well, we're in 25 now. I'm not disappointed it didn't happen in 24, but we're still marching forward. And
Yeah.
we're still, I got hindered. I had a platform on TikTok. When I was wanting to do it, I was getting 1,000 followers about every day on TikTok. So they took me down. They kept the fake accounts up, but but now we got a website. We got King Smarty TV. We can still do it. I lost my son. That was huge. They didn't even release his ashes to me for like 2 months from the funeral home. So that kind of hindered but I still want to make world news. I really, really do. I still got the trailer, I still got the Harley, and I still want to make world news to share my story and beat this. It's all about beating the system now. It
Right.
really, really is.
Well,
Robin, just these are the little book stickers that I had
oh,
made up.
oh, cool.
I
Yeah,
was giving them away with the book to go on the car windows. Robin's got a couple on her car windows. I got a couple on the truck windows, but
it's a great idea.
yeah, it's so old school.
Yeah, yeah. And so, I mean, we can do that with a photocopier or whatever locally. Like you could just, photocopy the book. You could shrink it down or blow it up, however you want. If you're willing to help, like market the book for John, that would be really helpful.
Yeah,
But
brother Henry, he was making copies and sticking them at the gas station. When he would get gas, he would get a piece of tape and
yeah,
stick a flyer on there. And then he said he put a thing at the post office while he was in line. And it's like, man, how come I didn't think of that? So I
yeah,
started leaving notes at the post office. Hey, my website. But and then I got a message from a couple that said they were actually making this, putting it on the bulletin board at the grocery store.
Yeah.
So we can beat the system. We really
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
I always think of, in a war, what the underground has to do to try to get the stories out, and we can do the same thing and get it, because it's not just my story. It's a world story. It's a world
It,
cause.
it is a global,
Expose the criminals. Let's all work together and expose the criminals.
yeah, it's a global story. This is huge for people, and it's going to be done at the grassroots level. So you cannot expect anyone with influence, okay, at this moment. They're mostly controlled. There's very few people out there with, we'll say, true money and influence that are uncorrupted, okay, or I don't know if that's the word, but um, so we have to do it. We have to take the story and run with it. So all the truth needs to be spread out there. And if we're persistent, which we are, it's starting to work. You can see it starting to get out there, right? It's so exciting. Like
Me and
very
me and
exciting.
Robin, me and Robin were doing laundry yesterday, and I was we filled up the machines, and I was calling someone back, and they were like, "Well, you should start a laundromat. Call it JFK Laundromat." And I was thinking, I was like, I should, because I just literally spent $50 in quarters to do laundry. I mean, we
Oh,
hadn't done it in a while, but um, yeah, we had 10 machines going, and I was like, Robin, we're going to the church and we're going to get a wash machine. We're going to put it on the porch because I can't afford $50 a week to do laundry.
that's
Um,
crazy.
but then I started talking to that person. It's like, yeah, I need a laundromat of my own. So,
Yeah.
but to get the story out. But then I was talking to her about the church, and what my aunt was had said, and I really believe that they took my aunt's life. I've always felt that there was so much secretive stuff going on, and my aunt always said, I'm going to be a preacher. And I was a little pot smoking kid back then, motorcycle rider, and my aunt would say this stuff, and I was like, come on, Auntie, I'm not no freaking preacher, as I'd walk away and hit on a joint. But she always said, you're going to be a preacher someday. You're going to be a preacher someday. So when it came up about a church, I would love to have my own church just to help people. There's plenty of people I know that like preaching about God and all this. That it would be awesome to have my own church, but I could fill it up with JFK memorabilia and help people, really help people.
Yeah, and maybe it doesn't necessarily need to be a church. It could be like a center where you've got like a museum and you could go and talk to people and explain how this works. Like people don't understand, like they don't understand how big the stolen identities are. Like this has not just happened to one person. It's happened to so many. We don't even know how many. All of Hollywood, all of the music, all of the political industries, like a lot of them have been replaced. And we're seeing it more and more now, right? We know some of those people are not even still here with us, but yet they're walking around. They look slightly different because they've lost weight, they've gained weight, they've been sick, they've this, they've that. Well, they're not really themselves, okay? But
Yeah,
the
and they don't
average,
even have to sing like that, with all the stuff that's dubbed and
yeah,
faked and lip sync and every other thing.
yeah,
But yeah, it's
yeah,
it's huge. It's huge
yeah.
how they've got into everybody's pockets.
Yeah, yeah. So they're controlling anything that makes money and can control the opinion of the people. So many people watch these celebrities and listen. They listen to the news about what's happening in their lives, and they're eating it up, and they don't even realize like it's a dude. It's not even a woman, or vice versa. They don't realize that those are not their kids. They're not really pregnant. They're not really this. They didn't grow up acting. They were put in place there for a reason. And it's gonna be, I mean, I like watching it, like I like seeing it unfold. I'm learning as well, but I'll see things and I'm like, oh, that's a dude, and I didn't even notice it before. So that's why I wanted to ask because I saw those pictures. And again, often I think when there's two celebrities and they're together romantically, that's not a true story either because I think one is the handler making sure the other one does what they're told, right?
There's so much
Yeah.
deception. Keanu Reeves, great example because I went to school with the man and his name was not Keanu Reeves, um, but I knew him. But see, here's the thing with the cabal. I don't believe, that we're born evil or these people were actually born evil. We when we're little, like when I was a little kid, I was crying because there was another kid being tortured to death. So I was screaming, and even as a little kid. But you get these cabal members that are twisted in their minds that they teach us young to be evil. I don't believe we're actually born into this world evil. We all, but there's so many evil ones out there teaching us to be evil so they can profit off the evil. It's really sad. It's really huge. But I'm a great example, to expose that we are taught to be evil in those societies in the upper class or any of the music industry, no matter what it is, the little ones, the kids, child trafficking is huge, but they're building little armies of evil ones to do their evil deeds. And with MK Ultra, the power of MK Ultra, they can get these children to commit evil deeds and not even remember when they wake up. It's basically these people getting others to do their crimes, and they're standing back, and they can't be convicted of, yeah, they got these people under MK Ultra, but then they get, their soldiers to do their MK Ultra, so they're still sitting at the top while all this evil's being done, and they're still profiting from it.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
huge.
And we see that a lot in the news stories. Okay. So an event will happen and a false flag event will happen or some horrible disaster, school shooting, something blowing up or whatever. And we're told a certain story. And then we find out the perpetrator, of course, they have an intact identification there, but the perpetrator is this and that. And we're given this whole background story. Well, they're not usually the ones that truly do the crime in this case, you know, and they're just used as a patsy. So you have to look at every story and kind of look at the bigger picture. Again, we're only giving out so much information. So it's whoever controls the information has the power there, right? So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I watched many of your Hollywood clips, and many of them you don't have your teeth fully in, and you could tell it's you, right? And you never got credit for the acting. Again, they've
Stole
did
my identity more than once. They're still trying to steal my identity. They're
yeah,
leaving up all these fake accounts of everybody. But yeah, even as a young child, I remember I had a tooth growing on the bottom over another tooth. Um, but yeah, when I was a childhood actor, they were putting something in like a little retainer, but it would make my mouth talk funny.
yeah.
But they did that on purpose.
Yeah. And we just were talking about you believe that everyone is born, with a loving heart and all of that. And it's usually they're influenced, they're taught, their environment is negative and whatever that they basically embrace the darker side or they're forced to. Okay. Like I don't think anyone really grows up and wants to hurt other people, pure humans have, love, but they're taught that way or they're made to do those things until they become desensitized or whatever, you know?
Yeah, I can think really deep into what we're talking about all the time. I think of cats and dogs and birds and bees and we're all like recycled on this planet Earth. Everything's recycled. But you get a kitten, that's born, it knows how does it know to nurse its mother? or a puppy, how does it know to nurse from its mother? And then, you know, it's instincts. And we keep getting taught evil. I believe that evil just keeps, when
Yeah.
coming up as instincts for the human race.
Yeah.
And like I
Yeah.
said, I'm getting really deep there, but
Well, I really think it's like for many of these people, first of all, they're excited by the reward. If you do this deed, you'll have a lifetime of power, wealth, influence, popularity, whatever it might be. Well, who wouldn't want that? They're excited, so they're like they jump into a contract or they agree to do whatever they're doing, and then once you're in, you can never get out. Right? So that's
yeah,
why we see a
making
lot of,
deals with the devil is what it is.
yeah, yeah, a
You
lot of
know, it's a
celebrities.
no-win. I mean, yeah, you can live the good life like one big party and eat the caviar and drink the champagne and ride around in the rolls or whatever. But in the long run, you're nothing to these people.
Yeah,
You're just using
you're
their
just a
money.
pawn. And like, and you never make a deal with the bad guys because they're always going to screw you in some way. So like King Smarty says, they'll kill you and replace you and, basically eat you. And that's what they've been doing. So
Yeah,
that's where all your Hollywood celebrities are going, a lot of them, not all of them, but shocking stuff, isn't it?
it's huge.
Yeah.
And we're waking people up. We're waking people up. Identity theft, it's, mainstream media,
Yeah.
they're all saying organized crime doesn't exist. And I'm saying organized crime is bigger and bigger than they ever have. And their big money maker is stealing identities and stealing everything that
Yeah.
person had. That's
Yeah.
what they did, and they put it right out there. My mom
Yeah.
murdered in front of me. I shouldn't use that kind of language, but unalived in front of me, and all of a sudden she's out there again. Well, that's identity theft. That woman doing that made organized crime billions and billions of dollars. So it happens all the time. I'm a personal eyewitness. My sister, that happened to my sister. It happened to me. But now my sister, you know, all the money that's not even rightfully hers.
Right.
It's huge. Identity theft is huge. My point is, it's organized crime is out there. It is going on. It's huge, and we need to bring it to light on
Right.
the identity theft scam of it.
Yeah. So they've really done a number on the Kennedy family. And of course, your life, like you had a potential for a beautiful, productive life of whatever you wanted, whatever you chose, leadership, a quiet life, whatever you chose that really was taken away from you. But one of the points I've made in the past, and I want to say it again, is although you grew up with these Quigleys from say 10 on, whatever the year was, and that it was a horrible experience and they're horrible people. I'm just saying it. Um, you still have a loving heart. You didn't succumb to the dark side. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
yay, thank you.
I was watching an old cowboy movie yesterday afternoon on TV, and they had an old log cabin out in the middle of Arizona. Um, Beautiful view, a little creek, a mud floor, just an old wood stove in the table, wood shutter windows. And I was like, I want that house. I could live happy in that house. That would be awesome. And it was just a little 1 bedroom cabin, out in the middle of nowhere. But I was like, wouldn't I just love to have that and be out there in the middle of, with my horse or whatever? That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't need those $1 million mansions to be happy. I really don't.
Yeah. Yeah. And you would have found your own way and done your thing probably. But again, you didn't have that opportunity. The freedom of choice was taken away from you. And again, the freedom of just quiet living, quiet enjoyment of life was taken away from you. You've had to fight your whole life just to, basically to stay alive, to do your own thing without harassment. So,
Yeah, and when somebody, tries to take your life away from you, like when I was working out in front of the yard when I was still married and that bullet grazed my cheek, that's so mental. it screws you up because you're like, who was behind that rifle trying to take my life? You don't know. Um, it's a huge mind
Yeah.
screw,
Yeah.
because there's so much you don't know. And these people aren't going to come forward and say, "Hey, John, I tried to shoot you in the head." It's not going to happen. So, it's
Yeah.
what I've had to deal with,
Yeah.
beyond, because you don't know after so many times, you just don't know. So, you know, I was a truck driver. I spent many years going from place to place nonstop, which might have saved my life. So it is what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But um, post traumatic stress disorder,
Yeah. It's
and
real.
there's so many good causes we could fix. We really could.
Yeah.
Just the 22 veterans a day committing suicide. We could fix that so quickly, and it's not being done. There's so many things we could do so quickly if this story gets out. If we put our minds together and try to help each other. Um, one veteran's life is sad. I feel they left me in the field. Our government left me in the field to fend for myself, and it's not right. My father's bell, where one of us goes, we all go. Well, I never saw that my whole life. I didn't have the backing of, I was basically left in the field by our government. And to me, that's the worst crimes committed by our own government, leaving little John Kennedy Jr. to fend for himself so they could get rich and keep getting popular, and on and on and on what their reasons
Yeah.
for not
Yeah.
helping is. But
Yeah. Do you have time for two more questions or things?
sure.
Yeah. I wanted for thing one is could you show us your shirt for people that haven't seen this graphic before? It
Oh
shows
yeah.
it shows your ear as a child and adult on well, it's on my left, so I'm not sure how it shows on the video. Over there.
Yeah, this is Giorgio now. This is a John Kennedy. I don't know if I can tilt this.
That's
Let me get my
yeah,
chair up a little bit.
yeah, yeah, better. But it's a great graphic. Yeah.
Oh, I'm having to put my chest out here. No, this is Mr. Pretty Boy, the John Kennedy Jr. the whole world knew. Now look at that earlobe right there. Well, this is my big fat earlobe. This is me as a kid right here, and this is me as a kid right here. This ear right here, this is me, this is me, this is me, this is me. This is him. That's identity theft right there. Earlobes don't grow to the side of your face after they are big and fat when you're a kid. It doesn't happen. I've got these people that think it happens. That, oh, I've seen it done, and you've never seen it done in your whole life. It's like a
Mhm.
fingerprint. But
Yeah,
some of the hate
yeah,
comments,
yeah,
this
yeah,
is an imposter. This will hold up in a court of law. This, and I've been asking some of the Lions this AI stuff. Please, if you're into the computer scene and you know how to do the age apps, find any picture of me. All the photos of the child are of me up to the age of 10. Get this ugly mug as a child. And if you use the app, it'll come up. Robin did it. And it
yeah.
came up to it scared me. It scared me because it was my face, but it was computer generated my face, but it came up to me. So if you're interested, please find a child. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of photos of me as a child. Pick
Yeah.
one out, do the age app, and see if it comes up to Mr. Pretty Boy. It won't. It won't at
It
all.
it'd be interesting to do the same thing in reverse. Take his picture as whatever what was he like
Robin also
89?
Robin also did that. Totally. It looked like the kid that I knew sitting in my classroom when I was a kid, where they were placing him to steal my identity. It's
Right.
huge what they do. It's
Yeah.
huge. They plan so far ahead. Hey, brother. I see you got the picture I sent you. Yeah, hey, I'm doing a live with Sue right here. You got anything to say?
everything's fantastic, and I just saw the clip where you was talking about producing T-shirts. We got the equipment to do all that too.
Awesome. Well, you're live with us right now. And hey,
Uh,
I figured that poster was from you. So thank you so much. I've been announcing it that I'm pretty sure it came from you, but that's awesome. That's so cool. And
yes, sir.
I really wanted to autograph it maybe and put it up for a prize to somebody that shares a story or something. I don't know if you'd mind that or not, but I thought it would be a good
Whatever you
idea.
want. We can always get more. So whatever you want to do with it.
Hey, but thanks, brother.
Yeah, I thought it was be something cool for your new home, but we can always get more. Not a problem.
I was eyeing up where I had room to put it, so it's way cool. It made my day yesterday when the FedEx guy showed up.
Very
All
cool.
right, that's what's up. Go ahead and finish your job. We'll get up later on. Love you guys.
Love you too, brother.
All right, bye bye.
Peace.
How fun
I
is
love when he
that?
calls.
Yeah, yeah. How fun is that? So do you have that graphic on your shirt? Are you able to get it to put on future t-shirts, or did someone do that for you? And
Yeah, I'm not capable of doing any of this. Others do it for me, which is way cool. I'm old school. Sometimes I can't even figure out this computer stuff.
yeah.
Um, but it's somewhere, and I'm sure somebody would love to help us out with these
Yeah.
earshots. And
All right, so let's announce this. Whoever can whip up an awesome t-shirt design, send it over to either me or John, okay? So, if you can do something comparing his dad's face, whatever you can do. There's a lot of creative people that are good at graphics. I'm not one of them. I wish I were, but I don't have patience for that. But send it over to either me or John, and we'll make up some t-shirts, which will be so cool. I know people want to support you. And of course, wouldn't it get the story out faster if we had the graphic with your new website on it so people could actually look it up? And maybe a QR code that would lead to your website, okay? So you're standing in line somewhere, somebody can take a picture of the QR code, go right to your website and see your products and the content on the website.
that that's a great idea. I wish I could figure that out. I tried to figure out one of those codes. I had an app I was trying. I couldn't figure it out.
Okay, we got that
Um,
part. Just if somebody can make the graphics, that would be helpful. Okay, and you may have to supply some of the pictures, John. But I'm going to show
um,
the website right now, if I can, and of course it's not there. That's funny. So let's see if I can do it now. What I'd like is to show the website to show people that there's a lot of content out there. Here we go. Okay. So this is the website. There's the top. Right? And that's the home page, but lots of content. You can buy the book right from the website. We've got videos out there, a timeline. I like this one. He had his identity stolen. So there's your book, and there's you now, right? With a Smarty, King Smarty
God,
hoodie on.
I'm looking old though.
Um, and then timeline, and there's a gallery of pictures. We've shown some of this before with these beautiful pictures. So if somebody could do some graphics and send to me, that would be, there's your ear.
Yeah, look at that big fat earlobe right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Can
That earlobe didn't, mysteriously attach to my jawline when I became,
yeah, yeah,
15 years old. It didn't happen. All
yeah,
those pictures of me have a big fat earlobe,
yeah,
but it's identity
yeah.
theft. It's
Yeah,
organized crime, identity theft.
so if somebody could do graphics, that would be amazing. We're going to go over to the shop page real quick, and we've got the healing and protective pendants there that King Smarty had created and donated. So you've got two different sizes,
I
large
got
and
to take a break
small.
real quick, Sue. Thank you.
That's fine, I can talk. I'm good at talking, so when it's something I know. So we've got 2 sizes and 5 colors. So we've got small and large. These are collector's items. You of course can wear them. They have the healing and protective frequencies in them. Every single one will protect against EMFs and radiation, and they will either quickly or steadily, passively heal you from injury and illness. All right, so we've got rainbow color, we've got gold, we've got black, we've got rose gold, and we've got silver. And wouldn't it be cool to see your t-shirt design on this page? Hint. So for those that are good with graphics, please send them over. All right. So there's the website real quick. The Real John F. Kennedy JR.com. That is the legit site. Okay, if you go elsewhere, it's not legit. All right. So hope that helps everybody. Lots of good content there. And like I said, it's going to probably morph a little bit as time goes on. So that was like the first thing I wanted to talk about was that graphic on your t-shirt. And then the second thing, you had, I'm going to say a couple days ago, done a video, and you had told a story about there was a friend of yours that was like bleeding in the street. And
Oh yeah.
and you had, could you tell that story again for those that didn't hear it and just kind of give us an overview of what happened?
Yeah. There was a party going on, and I was at the party. I lived like a mile away from where the party was going on. A bunch of high school kids and stuff, and then some older guys. But I was like, okay, I'm leaving. I'm gonna walk home. And this guy said, "I'll give you a ride on my new motorbike." And I was like, "No, it's cool. I can walk." And he's like, "No, I'm gonna give you a ride on the motorbike." So we went outside, and he gave me a ride home. He dropped me off at the Quigley's house, and this was rural California. There was a couple houses, from that mile from where the party was to my house, and it was quite a distance from the road where he dropped me off to the house. So I was walking, smoking a cigarette as I was coming to the Quigley's house, and I heard dogs start barking like crazy. I thought I heard somebody screaming. So I started walking back out to the road where he had dropped me off. And then I heard shouts for help more clearly because it was a long ways away.
Yeah.
So I started running, and I ran and ran. By the time I got there, I was totally out of breath. Even as a young kid, I shouldn't have been smoking so much. But yeah, when I got there, he said, "Dave, I think I broke my leg." He lifted it up, and his leg was just attached by some skin, and his leg actually fell down, and the blood was making a river in the street. So I took my socks off and made a tourniquet. I believe I grabbed, I think it was a stick or a stake or something that was on the side of the road, and I made it where he could hold it himself. And he was like, I need you to hide my cocaine." So I was like, "Okay." So I grabbed his bottle of cocaine. I went over and dug it, and I never told anybody that because I've always been, you know, straight up guy. If somebody asked me to hide their cocaine, I'll hide their cocaine. But I did that. I dug a little hole and I covered it up, and a car almost ran us over. It was actually the lady where the party was happening, mother. So anyway, she almost ran us over. She stopped. I said, "Please just go get some help." And she was like, "Who is that?" And I said, "It was Scott." And she, Scott was actually her daughter's boyfriend at the time. So she got all panicky. The cops showed up there. There was, the cops were really assholes because it's out in the middle of nowhere. So it took an hour for the ambulance to get there, an hour. So me and him are laying in the road. The cops are there. The cops are putting him in stress. Um, telling him, oh, it's nothing. I've seen people like your accident die all the time. You know, the cop was telling him that. And I actually told the cop to shut his fucking mouth right then and there. I said, you're not helping things. Just shut the fuck up. And I was just a little kid telling the cop that. Um, so then the ambulance got there. And finally, after an hour of me laying next to this man in the road, I went to the hospital. You know, the ambulance left, but I went to the hospital to check on him. His mother and father showed up, asked me what had happened. I explained what happened to him, except for hiding the cocaine part of it. Um, then they were like, I want you to come over to our house. And I was like, okay. So I went over to their house. His father asked me if I wanted something to drink. I don't even remember, you know, it's been so long ago what, but he brought me a soda pop. And I had some soda pop and it put me out, knocked me out. The next thing I was being interrogated while I was under. What happened? What do I know? But definitely, this man's father was Secret Service or high up in the intelligence, you know, to have something that would put me out in a soda pop at his convenience to find out what I knew about his son. But it all goes back to MK Ultra. He had just got the motorbike from another guy, but this community was so tight knit, and at the top like that, it's always people trying to take over each other, you know, the secrecy and what they actually have going on and every other thing. It's huge. But yeah, they questioned me. The mother was like, what do you want? Anything you want, I'll get it for you. That was his mom saying that because the doctors told her. I actually saved his life by putting that tourniquet on his leg and sitting there, you know, holding it tight for an hour. Um, she was like, "What do you?" I said, "All I want is a hamburger. I'm freaking hungry." So she actually got me a hamburger. Um, but yeah, the things they do in secret. And then after all that, um, he ended up having his leg cut off. He had a fake leg. He was at a little park one day with some other guys, and I showed up. He was wearing a brand new coat that I had bought. It was a down coat, and he was wearing it. And I was like, "How did you get my coat?" I was like, "He's like, that was my coat." He's like, "Yeah, I borrowed it." And I said, "Well, can I have it back?" And he was like, "No, it's mine now." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "You know, I saved this man's life. I really did." But he started blaming me for wanting a ride home that night. And I know he was probably under MK Ultra that made him crash his motorbike to lose his leg in the first place. But anyway, he started blaming me because it was all my fault now that he crashed his motorbike because he gave me a ride home. Um, so he was wearing my coat. I asked for my coat back. He was like, "No, I'm not giving you your coat back, and it's all your fault. I lost my leg." And he started, you know, we were at this park. He started blaming me, and I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Well, fuck you then." Um, you know, but that's how the spin gets put on. You know, I was there. I helped save the man's life, and then a few months later, he's blaming me for trying to kill him.
So did he just plain Jane crash, or was there someone that caused the crash or attacked him, or how did he fall in the first place?
Well, um, the road is called Revis Road, and they've recently took the rock off that took his leg. Right on the side where the curb is, there was a big rock that stuck all the way out to the curb, and it was pointed. Well, the real story is he was eating a taco. He had a taco in his pocket. He dropped me off, and he's riding a motorbike, and he starts eating a taco. He drifted over towards the curb, and his leg hit that rock that was sticking out, and he crashed. The rock basically cut his leg off. But the whole situation, with me being questioned by his father, what happened, and then him recently just getting that motorbike from some other people and the people that were around at the time, and the takeover of this little community called Yosemite Lakes Park, um, with his father being somebody way up in the Secret Service, like I believe, there was some funny business going on there. I really believe it that they tried to kill him that night under MK Ultra, because under MK Ultra you can be under MK Ultra. They can program you. What people don't understand is they can program you for the future to crash your motorcycle into a rock, and you do. I can't stress how powerful MK Ultra and mind control actually is. It is that freaking powerful of a tool. I've seen people drive into a brick wall under MK Ultra and not even realize what they're doing. Mind control is, they say under hypnosis people won't do what they usually won't do. Well, what will people usually not do? And I think is bullshit, because you can get under MK Ultra, you can get somebody to get an assault rifle and go shoot some shit up. It's a huge, powerful tool that our CAA has experimented with and used mind control.
Yeah.
MK Ultra was to see if you could get people to do things. Well, they've mastered it over all these years
Yeah.
on how they can get people to do things. But yeah, there was definitely funny business with that accident, but it wasn't me doing the funny business. It was somebody else doing the funny business.
You were just so maybe it was designed to harm you, but so the father basically drugged you,
Right.
which is quite shocking. But he rather than ask you the questions, he drugged you to make sure you were telling the truth. It sounds like, but he wanted to make sure that there was nothing there.
Yeah, I can't really blame the guy.
Well,
I can't, because, if I had an opportunity to find out the truth about my son's death, I would drug 100 people to get to the truth. I really would. If it took that to find out, who tried to kill my son or whatever.
yeah,
So I can't really blame the guy for drugging my Coca-Cola, to putting me under, to I don't know what kind of drugs truth serum, I guess. There's probably names for their truth serum, but it was his son. He wanted to find out,
yeah,
but he
yeah,
had the power to do it. I don't have that power to the
yeah,
day to,
yeah.
you know.
But you told that story, and I was so curious about like why, what happened, like was there an attack, and was it directed toward you specifically? But
Hey, Robin, excuse me, Sue.
yeah,
Robin, FedEx is out front. I don't know if they're here or not, but they're out front.
yeah. Well, I think today it's a good time to wrap up anyways for today. I have other questions, but they're probably longer topics. So why don't we talk again this upcoming week, and I'll ask
That
those
would be great,
questions.
Sue. Anytime
So
you have free time
yeah,
and you want to chat, let's do it.
yeah,
Let's get this
I love
story
it.
out this
Yeah.
year. Let's do it.
This is the year of full and complete disclosure of everything, including your story. And we've talked again, global importance, not just to the US, global importance. So
So
thank
much
you so
appreciated.
much. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much for your
Sue.
time.
And thank you, Lions. Keep sharing. Let's do this year, 25.
Yep.
Justice for John, and 25, it's justice for all of us.
Yes.